Hey, rock stars. It is Tuesday the 16th. Woo woo. doTERRA payday. That's a big deal. It's also doTERRA BOGO day. That's also a big deal. Tonight, I asked Teresa Goodlet to share with us her takeaways from the recent Diamond Retreat. So we're just going to jump right in tonight. So, Teresa, enlighten us with all of your good knowledge of what you learned.
Okie dokie. You can hear me good?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm still a little new at Zooming from my computer and not my phone. So let me know if we're having any issues. Thank you for asking me to talk. I kind of laughed when I first got the message from you because I haven't even really had a chance to download everything that I gathered and gained and gleaned, even to my husband yet, because I just got home. I had a red eye on Saturday and we kind of hit the ground running with some family coming in town. And I just got to say goodbye to them. They head back to Tulsa tomorrow morning. So I told my husband, hey, if you want to hear all about my experience and my time at the retreat, then you can hop on the Zoom too. So it was really impactful. It was perfect timing. I'm so thankful that doTERRA decided to pull this off this year. We were only given less than 2 months heads up about this. They kind of were talking about it for the future, and we were thinking maybe it wouldn't begin till next year. Excuse me. So when they said we'd like to try to pull one off for July, of course we scrambled, but we were also really grateful because I feel like this timing is perfect. So I don't know about all of you, but if you're feeling just like things are a little bit different than maybe they used to be, if you've been around for a little while, that's not a feeling that you're alone in. I think sometimes it's important to change up what we do a little bit. But at the same time, something that's important to be reminded of, and I was so appreciative of the reminder during this retreat, was that it's so important to get back to basics. And I know for those of you that were at convention or watched it live or just heard from people on your team that went, that was talked about, leadership, that was leadership, where we were told that Dr. Hill was going to kind of be doing a tour and that getting back to basics was something that they felt like was the time is right to kind of get back to that. We kind of got a little off course. Nod your head if you're like agreeing or understanding, like, yeah. So Boyd Truman, so rewind just a little bit. So the whole purpose of the retreat was just to gather all the Diamonds Plus together to fill our cups. So in doing that, we get to overflow onto everybody onto our team. So it was for everybody, but it was just for the Diamonds and above. So it all just kind of goes together because we're all linking arms together in this, right? So the whole hopes of it was to get everybody together to just not really to network, but more like just to just come together and to connect with each other, to do some masterminding, yes, of course, but also just to hear from some of our really, really talented, wise, and wonderful, upperclassmen, like the wellness advocates in doTERRA that have been around for a long time and that are having a lot of success. So I felt so privileged to be able to sit there in that audience and listen to a lot of those speakers. There was some fun thrown in, of course, too. doTERRA loves to bring us together and create that community and camaraderie. So we had food trucks come both days for lunches. We had a beautiful catered dinner the first night in a park. They did a really neat activity that first afternoon. After, we got to go tour the facilities. So all of doTERRA headquarters and offices and where they do the bottling and the packaging, all the behind the scenes stuff we got to see, as well as they took us on a tour through the new medical center that's going to be opening there. It's not open yet, but it's just about ready to be open. So that was really exciting to get to see those exam rooms and see all the doTERRA oils and products just lined up in those doctors' offices. It was just really, really cool to see that in person. We've seen pictures. I know we've all been seeing pictures of that, but it was really special to walk through that clinic and to see how professional it was and how well done and well set up it was. And I'm totally blanking on what to call them, you guys. What are the Prime Meridian, right? Prime, am I saying that right? Prime Meridian. I don't know why I'm totally blanking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Prime Meridian.
I was calling it a clinic. I'm like, there's a name for it, but it's not coming to me. Prime Meridian. Yeah. So the Salt Lake City, well, not Salt Lake City. They're in kind of Provo. Anyway, very exciting. So after we got to do that, we went over to some people went on a hike. Some people chose just to ride these ski lifts up to the top of the mountain to see a really beautiful view there in Sundance. That was super special, just to kind of come together and just kind of just breathe the fresh air, see some beautiful scenery, and just be together. And I met a lot of new people, and it was so fun just to hear where people are at in their business, to hear what challenges they're facing, but also to hear what's working for them, what success they're having. It's a really beautiful time to come together. But my highlight for sure was hearing from these beautiful speakers that we were privileged to have on the stage there and share with us. So I have my notes in front of me, and I thought I would just it's kind of like one-liners though, you guys, because as you know, if you've been to any corporate event, whether that's post-convention tour or leadership or convention, you know how hard it is to reiterate anything, all those beautiful messages that were shared at these events. So I'll do my best, but just know it's so much better than what all these little tidbits will sound like. But Boyd Truman was somebody that came and shared with us. He was there for only a brief time. I didn't even get to go say hi to him. He had just gotten back from China, and then he was headed out of town to do a Symphony of the Cells training, and then his firstborn daughter was having her firstborn baby, which she did have her baby on Friday. Really exciting. So he was very emotional. He was very raw with us, which was cool to see. If you've ever heard Boyd talk, he's kind of that way anyway. He's just kind of hard on his sleeve kind of guy. But there was something just extra genuine, extra special about his just demeanor during this time, just because of how tender he was about his upcoming grandchild and stuff. But he talked about a book. So I have a lot of book titles that I'm going to share with you too. So if you have a pen and paper, that would be handy, because I took a load of notes on all these books that sound really incredible. So I'm excited just to get on my Audible and start downloading some of these. So there's some good ones. So he talked about Good to Great. He said it's a leadership book. I don't actually know the author. So some of these I wrote the author down, but I think most of them I just wrote the title down. But we should be able to find them. He was talking to us about products being the focus. So he has a team in Taiwan that is excelling right now. It's actually like they've been an open market for a little while, but Emily Wright had actually talked to some of these people on his team, and had asked, what is it that you're doing? How are you having so much success? You're growing at a faster rate than the US is right now. Like, tell me what you're doing. And they responded with product. Like, that is the thing. And that is something that if you ever listen to Boyd do his lives with his wife, Sandy, he really emphasized that. And he actually did a live just this last week. And I was able to catch that while I was actually getting ready in the hotel before I headed. I actually flew into Vegas. You guys, totally going off on a tangent here. If you are looking at plane tickets for convention and you're seeing how expensive they are to fly directly into Salt Lake, get creative. That's what my husband and I needed to do. And that's what I needed to do to pull off making it to this retreat. So I actually flew into Vegas through Frontier, and then rented a car and drove the 6 hours down to Salt Lake City. Saved hundreds of dollars. And we're doing that exact same thing in September. This time I won't be alone. Diamond Club definitely doing 2 runs of that prepared me for doing that. I don't think before Diamond Club I ever would have traveled somewhere and then rented a car and drove 6 hours all alone. But I feel pretty empowered to do that kind of thing now. So it was no big deal. I just this is what I need to do if I'm going to get there. And I slept on Laura Sohn's couch in her RV, and we made it happen. And it was awesome. Good memories for sure. Made lots of memories. And Joe Sohn, he fed me the whole time. He had breakfast in the morning. He was making us dinner at night. I mean, I was super spoiled. But you do what you got to do, right, to make these things possible. So I just wanted to share that as like a little side note. Talk to me if you want to think through different ideas on getting yourself there affordably. Anyway, back to Boyd. products being the focus. I guess we lose sight of that sometimes. I'm guilty of it too. I get so excited about the science, and I get so excited about, even the Prime Meridian health clinics. And I think it's so exciting to share those things. I'm not saying we shouldn't share those things, but if we lose sight of our bread and butter, we're going to lose people, I think, too, because we might all get excited about the science, but not everybody gets excited about. We might all get really excited about co-impact sourcing and healing hands. I mean, that's the heart of doTERRA, and that's what really, really drew me into doTERRA. That's the kind of thing, talking about that's what brings me to tears and is wrapped up in my why. However, not everybody is drawn to those kinds of stories and to their purchasing power and how that's changing lives, in third world countries. I don't know how. I mean, where's their heart? Maybe that's my empathy. I just love that, but not everybody is drawn to those things either. But everybody is looking for answers to health issues and health concerns. Everybody needs solutions. So the products do speak to everyone. So if the science and if the humanitarian stuff isn't speaking to people, the products are where you have to go back to. So I loved being reminded of that. And that's really just, really, really educating people about the oils, and not scientifically, more like those everyday tips and tricks on how your family is using them. But I think another shift needs to happen while I'm on this little rant here. I think testimonies are powerful, and I think people love to hear our testimonies, but I almost am feeling a shift in people aren't as drawn in by our testimonies. Still good to share, still does draw people in, don't get me wrong. I think people are more wanting to hear selfishly, but not selfishly, they have needs, what those oils can do for them. So we've got to maybe spend a little bit more time telling people exactly how these oils and these products will personally benefit them. So anyway, that was kind of a little bit of some side conversations that were had during this retreat, where we were all kind of coming together and kind of agreeing that we've got to make it about the people, because that seems to be the crowd. It's just speaking to that group that hasn't said yes yet. Okay, so Sarah Jensen, are you guys familiar with her? She was another one of our lovely gals that spoke. She's a very impactful speaker. She was real and raw. She was very vulnerable with us. She's rebuilding 2 legs. She had some people quit. So it was really great to hear from her and how she's transcended some of those setbacks that she's experienced in her business. And some of the little one-liners on my notes that I wrote from her, action brings action. Really, really beautiful quote. It wasn't from her. It was somebody that was just kind of pouring into her when she needed it, had said to her, Sarah, it's time to weave a new song with those that are still singing. Because she had lost people that weren't doing it with her anymore. And, if that's happened with any of you, or you've, even if you haven't had somebody quit, but you've had maybe hopes that somebody was going to catch the vision and link arms with you and do this, that heartbreak when they just don't see it for themselves and that they aren't behind you or with you or linking arms with you. So it's really easy to kind of get caught up in that and not continue forward. So I thought that was such a beautiful reminder, because there are plenty. You can dig deeper, you can tap root, you can look in your organization. There are plenty of wellness advocates and even just wholesale customers that are beautiful sharers that are still singing, So time to weave a new song with those that are singing was awesome. She said, be utterly committed to your own self-resilience. That was really good too. She also reiterated the whole getting back to basics. I have slides that I don't even have pulled up right now, but just some really, really good stuff. The reminder of we are in a follow-up business. So if that's an area that you feel like you could improve in, I think we all can. I know I slack in that area at times. I get so busy supporting people that are already customers that fills up a lot of my time that I sometimes just lose track. And I really need to have a very intentional time spent reconnecting with our members, doing really good follow-up with the people that you personally enrolled. And then if you've got non-builders in between you and other people on your team, it's up to you too, for the success of your business and for your residual income, to be reaching down and supporting those people and doing really good follow-up. So really, really get skilled in follow-up, because that is really where the successful and unsuccessful, like you can really, really see how big of a difference that makes. Jessica Moultrie was another one that we heard from. Hey, does anybody know if Nicole Moultrie and Jessica Moultrie, are they related? Does anybody know? Are you familiar with those leaders? I don't know. I asked Laura and we just guessed. I mean, it's the exact same spelling, but we heard from Jessica Moultrie on day 1 and we heard from Nicole Moultrie on day 2. No clue if they're related, but Jessica Moultrie shared with us, let's see, what did I write? I wrote, be so busy improving yourself that you don't have time to pay attention to anything or anyone that distracts you from your growth. So I'm so sorry about my throat clearing. I don't know about you guys, but social media is probably the biggest thing that gets in the way. Maybe that's not the case for all of you, but I know if I'm getting distracted and having things that are a time suck, it's usually related to social media. So be mindful of that and really work on not getting distracted by that so much. I failed to mention, I didn't write any notes from her. I just took it all in, but we opened up the day with Emily Wright. Emily Wright opened up the whole time together. And of course, she got everybody a little misty-eyed. She's just so passionate, and it's so beautiful to hear from the top, because we know that all trickles down to the rest of us, and so inspiring and empowering to hear her message anytime. I mean, she just always has great messages. On day 2, we did hear from Dave Sterling. He came in to encourage us as well. I wrote down under him, I wrote unsuccessful people. I said they also fear the sacrifice of success. I don't really have anything to expand on that, but I probably should have done some highlighting here because my notes are like really scratchy, guys. Let's see. Meeting people where they are at. That was a big thing that came up. Nicole Moultrie touched on that. The training guides that we have at our fingertips, I'm guilty of not utilizing that. But I was renewed in taking a look at those again after this weekend. She talked a lot about doing programs. So things like, like Premier Push, Diamond Rush, different things like that. It was kind of one of those take it or leave it things. Some people are already implementing things like that. For some of us, it sparked new ideas, things to do just for team involvement and inspiring people on our team. The overall theme of her talk was lean in and step up. Jessica Eidings was another one that we heard from. Let's see, I wrote, success doesn't happen overnight. It happens with consistent action every single day. These are all like so practical, right? You're hearing these like, yeah, we hear this all the time. But sometimes we don't really do it. We don't do it. So anytime you get that kind of thing, filling your cup, it's really important. There was just so many things that were so simple about the message that everybody was sharing that it's almost stupid simple, but it was so encouraging to hear. Laura Jacobs was probably my highlight. She had so many good nuggets to share. I can't do justice to any of these, you guys. It's really hard. I do have a link to Laura Jacobs' talk. Somebody recorded it. I have not heard that we can't share that. They did reiterate a couple of times, this is for you guys. This is for the diamonds. This isn't for your teams. This is for us to fill your cup. And then you go back and spill your cups over on everybody. But I do feel like everybody can be encouraged by this talk that Laura Jacobs gave. So maybe I'll double check because I don't want to like do anything wrong, get in trouble. Of course, we're just such a giving community, aren't we? Like doTERRA is so giving. I can't imagine that anybody would have any problem. It was not a message for strictly for diamonds and above by any means. This will encourage anybody, no matter where they're at, whether they're just getting started, whether they're elite, premier, anywhere. And yeah, again, I'm not going to do it justice. I'm gonna get permission to share this link, you guys, because if you can take the time, I think it's only 26 minutes long is what I saw when I looked at it. It felt like hours of her talking. Like I just got sucked in, and so like my heart was just full of gratitude after her talk. I mean, like the little notes that I wrote under her were competition is irrelevant. The market share is uncontested. You know, we're the best. We know this. Untapped demand is out there. She was kind of basically addressing all of the negative things that come to us, all the things that she hears, that we all hear, that maybe we're even guilty of saying saturate. You know, I'm from Utah, so it's saturated. You know, like just those more or less excuses that. She just basically just drove it home, pushing all those excuses aside. When she said the untapped demand is out there, your goal is to find it. Belief is everything. Find your edge. So many really great nuggets from her. They did do a breakout session where we were grouped together. So when we got our little lanyard with our little name tag on the back, we put our stickers with our top 5 strengths. And we knew that was going to come into play at some point, but they really weren't filling us in. But on the second day, towards the end of the day, we finally found out why we needed to have our little stickers on the back of our badge. They grouped us together based on whatever either our top spot strength or like whichever color we had the most of. So I have mostly blue relational stuff. So there's strategic people and the relational people. So anyway, we had options of areas throughout the campus that we could go. And then we just kind of sat in a circle with these very like-minded leaders and just kind of powwowed together. It was definitely like one of those, a little bit more intimate of a mastermind moment. And it was people were just talking very practically about like what's working for them. So what kinds of things, like when the very first question posed to all of us that kind of got the conversation started was, think of your last class that had a really great turnout and was successful. And they said, don't think back years ago. Like I'm talking more recent, because we know things are a little bit different. To be completely like transparent with you all and be real, when I first got started, which was, I've been using oils 7 years, 6 years been sharing and starting to build. So 6 years ago, when I had my very first class that I hosted at my house, I packed my living room. There was standing room only. I ran out of lawn chairs and folding chairs. People either had to stand or sit on the floor in my kitchen. We overflowed out of my living room. It was so exciting. I'm not getting any kind of turnout like that anymore. And that's okay. It looks different now. And there's lots of reasons for that. And that could be, another sizzle night, for us to all kind of chat about things that are working, things that aren't working anymore. And not to wallow in our disappointment over not getting butts in seats, but more like just to feel inspired and work together on what's working. So that was why we all sat in that room, and that was the first thing that was posed to us. And lots of really great little tidbits came out about that. Just new ideas, even for like class topics that were getting good turnouts and good interest from people. Some of the ones I wrote down, cleaning for teachers. I've done cleaning classes. I've done back to school classes. I've never done cleaning for teachers, but one of the gals was sharing with us that she had a packed class with all these teachers that was geared towards cleaning their classroom and keeping sickness down. Different. There was another one that said she's been having success connecting with those local, they pop up a lot now, Canvas and Cocktails type of a place where you get a bunch of gal pals together and you paint. Sometimes cocktails are involved, sometimes not, but the canvas and cocktails are those painting nights. So she partnered with a local gal that runs those classes and did an emotional paint therapy. And they did it like on a Sunday night, and it was the largest turnout that canvas and cocktails place had ever had. So they ended up building a relationship and deciding that they were going to do that like every other week. They were going to offer this emotional paint therapy. So she kind of gave us a little bit of the nitty gritty details on that. And it was, she added essential oils into the paint that they were painting with. She said balance was one that she used. Balance was great because you kind of get more bang for your buck. It's already diluted. It's one that most people love. So you add the oils to the paint. So as they're painting, they're breathing all that in. She had diffusers going. She said she did balance for everybody, but then as she was kind of connecting with different people, she did kind of help some people more specifically. For instance, she said there was one lady that was a little bit cranky. So she added cheer to hers. And then what she did was she just walked around while people were doing their little paint projects and massaged their neck with deep blue and gave them that oil experience too. So they were getting aromatic and topical. I guess you could always throw in having the oils with the cocktails or oils for water so that they're getting the oils all three ways during that class time. That would be pretty cool. Sorry, readjusting here. What else did the teacher did give her a little time to explain emotional aromatherapy towards the beginning before they got started, but it wasn't, I guess, just for whatever reason, she couldn't close it. So there wasn't like a time for enrollment, but she had a ton of people to follow up with. So she got tons of fresh new contacts to follow up with after that. And I think she said so far from that night, she's already had 5 enrollments from her follow-up. Of course, we know, like I mentioned before, the fortune is in the follow-up. We were a follow-up business. Another gal's idea was, is this good? Is this helpful information to share these class ideas? Is that cool? Okay. I didn't want to keep going if you're well,
yes.
Okay, good. That's how I felt too. I need some fresh. I need something exciting and fresh and new to try and to get fresh ideas. So partnering with a cause, that was the gist of this other gal that's shared. So apparently Tony Robbins is tripling donations to OUR right now through, maybe it's just through the 17th, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah, that's tomorrow. So anyway, think outside the box here. Here's what she did. Obviously the time is up for that, but it's something that you can kind of keep your eye on, or switch it up a little bit. But what she did was she had just an essential oils kind of one-on-one class, but she did it make and take style. It was $5. And that 100% of that $5 went, she donated that to OUR through the Tony Robbins link. So it got tripled. So that was basically how she promoted it. She promoted it as awareness with OUR, giving to a good cause. And then there was that beautiful oil education and them getting to go home with something in their hand. So I thought that was outside the box a little bit too. I think this is pretty smart. If you aren't using Eventbrite, I didn't realize, because I've never utilized it out of curiosity or looking for something to do to get out of the house, but a lot of people will go to Eventbrite and look up what's going on locally in their area. So maybe somebody out there in your community is I'm really interested in learning about oils, but they personally don't have an oil lady or man, and they'll go to Eventbrite and see if there's any oil education opportunities in their area. Or maybe they're looking for something different and they happen to come across the oil class. So if you have classes that are open to the public, that it's not at somebody's house and it's okay for people from the public to show up, throw it out on Eventbrite too, because you just never know that if you might get a community person that shows up. It's just one little step that probably takes 5 or 10 minutes. Why not? She was telling a lady in particular was telling a couple of stories about people that would show up at her classes because they saw the opportunity on Eventbrite. And my sister, Dana Olson, if you know her, one of her super share builder gals met her through Eventbrite, was looking to learn about oils and saw that she had a class in Troy, Missouri, and showed up. And that's how Dana met her. So I even knew that, and I still wasn't really utilizing that. So that was another good reminder about that. Here's a cool one. And I have seen Amanda Whitman do this recently. A gal was telling us about doing POM parties, POM, product of the month, POM, POM. And she's done it at her home. She's done it in public spaces, but she decorates with pom-poms, kind of cute. So she's got pom-pom stuff everywhere. And she said that her collection of reusable pom-pom decorations is growing each month, and it's kind of fun. But whatever the product of the month is, that's the oil that you're going to highlight that night. So this is definitely something geared towards your customers, loving on your customers, creating that community, and supporting them and highlighting that product of the month. Of course, doing this before the 15th so that they can place that 125 PV order is important. So this will be you're going to do this POM party sometime between the 1st and the 15th. But she said, the gal that in particular that brought this up was saying how the first couple of months it was gaining momentum. People were having a really good time. And as it's progressed, she's been doing it for, I think she said like for 7 or 8 months now. And now, because people were having so much fun at those original first few classes, now people are bringing unenrolled guests. And this has actually become a really great opportunity to enroll people too. So it's not just customer appreciation. It's also an enrollment opportunity too. So I thought that was really neat. And you can go as simple with that or as elaborate and creative, I think, with that. I mean, people were kind of spouting off little ideas, but I mean, if it's an oil that you can add to baked goods or cooking or anything like that, you could throw that in the mix at that gathering, do a couple little make and takes that utilize that oil, share a sheet of recipes with everybody that has that, or with that product of the month oil. That one's cool. Let's see. Share basket. Guys, this one's cool. Okay, so have any of you ever put together like just like a gift basket or a bundle that has maybe like the top 10 oils or whatever oils? It doesn't have to be the top 10, but it has a variety of oils, your carrier oil, a diffuser, and a reference book, and like lent that out. If you haven't done it, maybe you've seen other people posting and drumming, trying to drum up some interest by sharing some of their products for people to try out for maybe like 5 to 7 days. So you can lend out just this little bundle of stuff for people just to try it before you buy it, sort of thing. This particular guy, it's kind of a spin on that. What she does is anytime any of the people that she's personally enrolled, I believe, and she works with her leaders on this, anytime somebody hits elite, she provides this share basket to them. So it's got the top 10 oils, it's got carrier oil, it's got a reference book and a diffuser. And then it's up to that elite, if they're agreeable to it. Now you wouldn't just like give it to them without like kind of a little agreement that they will keep it in circulation. So that's kind of it's like a gift. When you hit elite, I'm going to give you this share basket, and then in hopes that you will keep that in rotation, that you will keep getting that into different people's homes for you to grow your business. So it's a really beautiful way to invest in your elites and above to help them grow their business. And then it could be up to them to even personalize it more. Maybe TerraZyme is like their jam and they love talking about TerraZyme. Maybe they'll throw some TerraZyme in that, or maybe some of the different, the different lozenges, the drops. And so they could, add to it if they wanted to, keep it basic, whatever. That was pretty cool. The last one, I have not looked this up yet, but I am kind of excited about this one. Paperless Invite. Let's see, the website is paperlesspost.com, and it's a text invitation. I haven't seen this, but the description sounded incredible. So what this is, and the lady that was sharing about it, they have had incredible success with attendance at their class, but even just RSVPs. I don't know about you guys, but it sometimes gets a little exhausting when people just aren't even RSVPing. No, like, just tell me if you're coming or not. I need to know how many heads to count. Like, I need to know how to prepare for this. That can be a little frustrating when RSVPs are even hard to get these days. So this text generator, it makes a really, really beautiful invitation that goes straight to them via text, and you can add like a little personal message to it. But through this text, they can RSVP. So she has found that people are actually clicking that little button in their text message to say yes or no. I see waves. Or is somebody trying to say something?
Which app did you say? Sorry. Okay.
Hi, good to see you.
You too. Which app did you say it was?
Oh, I don't know if it's an app. I think it's a website, but maybe it's an app too. Paperlesspost.com.
Okay, thank you. And I was waving at Neil. Sorry.
Oh, you were. Oh, okay. It's very good to see you, Crystal. So anyway, I'm excited to scope that out and give it a whirl. Why not? I like pretty things, I like to get a pretty invitation, and, I think people still like getting mail too. So don't ever forget about that one. I've had some good class turnouts when I take the time to write out a little pretty invitation and mail it to people too. All right. A lot of you might have seen with the BOGOs, Justin Harrison does these daily mentor calls, or that's the name of oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's justinswebinars.com. That's something else. Hold on. justinswebinars.com. So he did it with the last BOGO. He did it with this BOGO. That's a great thing to utilize. Take advantage of it. If somebody's going to take charge of that and it's available for all of us to spread the word about that, that would be really good to your customers or even to potential customers. He only keeps those up for 24 hours and then they vanish because they're typically not FDA compliant. So just be mindful of that. He'll tear those down pretty quickly after 24 hours. So justinswebinars.com. If you're not familiar with Justin Harrison, he was one of the very first distributors in doTERRA. I think he's a founder, but he also, his title is Master Distributor. Very, very important person. He's a fun guy. He spoke to us too. He kind of closed out the event, and he's a good time. So be mindful of those and watch out for those. He's going to be doing them every Tuesday with the BOGOs this month. But I think that's kind of a running thing that he's going to continue doing outside of BOGOs as well. We're going to learn more about this next thing I'm going to share real quick. We'll learn more about it at convention is my understanding. But Elise Chedevy, she is now, I think they just announced that she is now a triple diamond? Triple president? No, I guess it was triple diamond. I'm not sure. She just ranked advanced again, but she's at the very top of the company. Elise Chedevy, you might have heard her at Leadership. She's lovely to listen to as well. She had a great talk. She's going to be having these daily mentor calls that are open to everybody, all the teams, all of doTERRA, and they're going to get those up and running around, I think, convention time. So she had said if we want to get on that list to know exactly when those are going to get started and be launched, to email dailymentorcalls@gmail.com. So she said, throw us an email, let us know you're interested, and that's how you'll stay in the know about these calls. And they're going to be short. They're going to be, from what they were kind of describing, these are going to be like 5 to 15 minute calls for everybody to plug into. So I'm excited to see what that's about. Anytime we can glean from those that have gone before us and those that are having beautiful success and have so much to share and give, like, we should do that. Okay, so here's the list of books that I have for you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of always have a running list of books, but I definitely needed a refresh, and I have already gone through some from my other list, so I was excited to refresh my list. Atomic Habits. I'm looking here. I don't have any of the authors, so forgive me for that. Atomic, Atomic, Atomic Habits. Dare to Lead, which I do happen to know that is by Brene Brown. The perk of flying into Vegas and then driving down to Salt Lake and then having to drive from Salt Lake back up to Vegas is you got 6 hours, total of 12, to listen to Audible books while you drive. So I tackled 2 books while driving, which was really exciting. Dare to Lead is excellent. Willpower Does Not Work. Willpower Does Not Work. Unconditional Parenting. So this is a parenting book. Trying to think of who, I can picture her face, but I can't think of her name right now. Was sharing, so it's obviously geared towards parenting, but she found so many of the concepts in it to be applicable to leading a team too. So unconditional parenting, Big Leap, the Big Leap. It might just be Big Leap. I'm not sure. High Performance Habits. Take the Stairs. I think a lot of us have heard of Take the Stairs. Leaders Eat Last. The 4-Year Career. And then Making the First Circle Work. That one, so I've never read it. They say it's a really quick read, and I think it might have been Justin Harrison, but I don't remember. Whoever was sharing about that one had said that they actually just buy that for all of their new builders. It's a really great place to start them, to have them read that, get used to reading books to support their business and their leadership skill set, but also for them to have clear expectations that what we're doing here isn't get rich quick. Our compensation plan is not set up like that. This is, you're in it for the long haul, and you just keep plugging away. We have the best compensation plan. I've never doubted that, but man, some of these speakers were really, really helpful in just reinforcing how wonderful doTERRA has this all set up for us.
Teresa, can you repeat that title, that last one?
The last one, Making the First Circle Work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Several of the people that spoke with us reiterated to use those guides, the different rank guides that are very specific to rank. That's really going to help meet your people where they're at. Oftentimes we can kind of, word vomit or like fire hose people with all the things they need to know to have a successful doTERRA business and tell them all the things that you're doing. And, sometimes that all gets sort of lost if you haven't met them where they're at. Sometimes, based on where they're at in their growth and their belief, all these things have to kind of evolve and develop as they grow their business. If you're sharing things with them that are at the growth stages of a silver, but they're only elite, that's not really getting to them. That's not really serving them. So I have been reignited to take a look at those training guides and to put those into practice and support my people, meet my people where they're at better, so that they can grow. If you've seen that chart, it's kind of like a stair-step chart. I think it's in one of the guides, or it used to be anyway. I think they might have taken it out. I'm not sure, but it's like the stair-step, starting with like elites and up. And it's like a developmental thing, kind of like childhood human development. At this stage, you're working on your belief. In this phase or this rank, this is where leadership skills. I don't remember what all the little roadblock things were, but I thought that was really helpful as well. So take a look at those, pull those out, support your people with those, grab a batch of them on your next order. That's what I'm planning to do. I know I have a few here. The launch guide, of course, is really great. But lots of tools that a lot of people have spent a great deal of time and effort and love developing those materials for us. And these are people that we want to follow. These are people that are having a lot of success and have a lot to say that will support you. So that's what I got. That's what I got for you guys. I'm open to any questions. If anybody has any questions or anything like that to talk about.
Awesome.
The trip.
I'm going to kill the recording really quick.
Okay.